My sister is infertile, and I couldn't be happier. I, 28F, have an older sister, Angela, 30F, whom I have never liked. She always had to compete with me, but never in a normal sibling rivalry way. Throughout our entire lives, she seemed resentful of my existence, as if the spotlight couldn't perpetually shine on her. Consequently, she would step on everything I enjoyed. For instance, if I learned to play the piano, she had to learn it too. If I excelled at a subject, she would suddenly become a scholar in it. Even if I confided in my mom about having a crush, Angela would end up dating that boy within a week. I consistently informed my parents about her actions, but I was always disregarded with statements like, "Sisters copy each other, and you can't gatekeep what she likes." She consistently monitored the activities I engaged in and the clothes I wore, just so she could outdo me. If I wore a flannel, Angela would show up at school wearing an all-flannel dress. It was 2010, and that was the peak fashion trend in our school at the time. Angela consistently received more praise, even when I took the initiative to start an activity first. She was lauded simply because she outperformed me. My parents went to great lengths, even missing work, to attend all of her dance recitals. It seemed as though the world would come to a halt if they were absent. On the other hand, I recall only 2 instances when they attended mine, citing work obligations or other commitments. Angela took pleasure in this discrepancy, often making under-the-breath comments in our parents' presence. When they weren't around, she would express her disdain for me, emphasizing how I should give up because I would always be second to her. In addition to the emotional manipulation, Angela engaged in physical bullying at school. She intentionally tripped me, threw things at me, and hit me in the hallways on an almost daily basis. The school had intervened multiple times, issuing threats of suspension to Angela, but my parents opposed it on each occasion. They consistently argued with the administration, asserting that our conflicts were merely typical sisterly bickering and should be treated as a family matter. Surprisingly, neither parent ever reprimanded Angela. In a peculiar incident, Angela was caught trying to impale a cat on the school fence, yet my parents defended her, dismissing it as normal teenage behavior. I frequently found myself in trouble because Angela would start crying, claiming that she was unfairly targeted by the school due to my provocations. On one of these occasions, Angela went to the extent of hurting herself to convince Dad that I was the aggressor. I became a pariah due to Angela's malicious rumors about me, so it was difficult for me to make friends. I resorted to only befriending people from other districts. Angela eventually made sure I had nobody by stalking them, befriending them, and telling all my friends lies about how I was favored by our parents and constantly bullied and belittled her. She even stole boyfriends of mine doing this, convincing them I was horribly mean and an awful person who copied her every move. Once, she catfished me on MySpace for 4 months and baited me into sending her revealing pictures of myself, which she proceeded to send to my parents and everyone in school, including teachers. Later on, she told one of the boys I liked that those were actually her pictures and I had catfished her. The day of my high school graduation, my mom sat me down and told me Angela revealed the horrid abuse she'd suffered at my hand, and I was no longer welcome in their home. After moving out the next day, my parents made very few attempts to communicate with me, only the occasional holiday and birthday text. All financial aid also abruptly ended as soon as I stepped foot on campus. I met my now husband shortly after this, and we were married within a year. They did not feel inclined to attend my wedding or even congratulate me. I informed my parents when I had my first child 8 years ago as an opening, but they have made no attempt to contact or meet any of my 3 children. The best I know of Angela now, from what I've heard, is that she got married to one of the boyfriends she stole from me in high school, and she's been posting about her infertility issues and how she can't offer my parents their first grandbaby. As if any of my children didn't count. After years of silence, I received a text at 8 this morning from my mother that I will copy and paste below. "Hey, my name, it's me, your mama. We haven't talked in a while, and I surely miss you terribly. I wanted to let you know your sister just had a miscarriage earlier this week. Angie and Justin are struggling a lot right now. Send something a little sweet her way, I'm sure she'd appreciate it. Get back to me. I love you." I hate to say it, but I'm glad she's suffering. I'm glad she doesn't get to be a mother. If she tormented me for years, what would she do to a child? Especially a girl? I don't wish harm on any baby, but I know in my heart that child would be damaged by her. I'm angry at my parents expecting me to have any sense of obligation to her. I don't even have any sense of obligation to them. They always believed her and dismissed me. I was always the problem child, and it's strange how my mother can be so warm to me when asking me to do something for my sister. Also, the fact they cared more about my sister's now gone fetus more than my actual children, who wonder why they only have one set of grandparents. I feel some sort of guilt for it, but I refuse to offer any condolences to my destructive, narcissistic sister who has been justified in her bad behavior since birth. Maybe this will change her, help her develop empathy or any type of emotion that isn't hate or vindictiveness. If that happens, I would be more than willing to offer support, but until then, I feel nothing but a small inkling of happiness that she's hurt. Am I awful for this? Update 1. I decided not to respond to my mother. I blocked both of my parents, and I thought it would end there, but when does it ever? Wednesday morning, my messenger was being flooded with texts from my parents' siblings. Most of the messages consisted of me being told I needed to answer my mother's calls and how callous I was being. I proceeded to block all of them as well. My cousin heard this from her younger sister, who is subject to being around my parents and Angela for family dinners. From her perspective, Angela kept calling Op an abusive ingrate because she wouldn't talk to Aunt Kathy. Aunt Kathy said they need to start inviting Op to family gatherings so she comes around to being a surrogate. It got weird right quick because Angela said she wants to use my husband's sperm so her kid is tall and has blue eyes. Then, Kathy was saying how they just need to be around her for like a year, then they can cut her off again or whatever. Angela kept saying Op is the only way she can have kids because she doesn't want to raise someone's trash baby. Hearing those messages made me want to hurl. Do they think my uterus is some fish hatchery that can be bought with some kind words and casserole? It's nice to know Angela is too much of a narcissistic prick to adopt though. I'm officially done with every single one of them. If they try to come around me, I will get a restraining order before they can even darken my doorstep. Between the weak conspiracy they've come up with to try to use me like a baby bargain bin and the nasty words they continue to speak about me, I will no longer claim to have a family outside of the one I've created.